Okay, I'm gonna make this little part quick because I had to turn off my heat to do this part, but I just want to add real fast that I'm sitting in the car warming up. I'm getting ready to take off to leave the area, and I was reviewing the video that I just recorded of my walk and talk, which you're about to see in just a moment, so I hope you enjoy. But I noticed some things in the noises, and I just want to make you aware before you watch the video. I'm going to go ahead and advance, slow it down, and allow you to hear the noises of nature when it happens. Depending, because it is a long video, I might not do a lot of footnotes to let you know every time I do it during the walk, but I want to let you know that if you listen to nature, you listen to spirit, you listen to the sounds, you listen to everything like you're supposed to listen to hear, you can hear. I was about to not do the video, and then I was instructed, please do it, and you'll hear that. I'll fix the video and do it. I was just reviewing it, and it was just, I could hear it again like I heard it when I was there. So I just wanted to say that while I'm sitting here before I left, that I'll also have this video to add to you before you watch it, to say I'm going to allow you to hear what it is. Usually I would just play it through and not always stop, but for the purpose of you hearing spirit without any tools, devices, and hearing it come from God speaking, this is how it works, then you can hear it for yourself, kind of like how I do, but in a way that you'll catch it more because you're not as aware of it in advance as it's happening. So I hope you enjoy my walk and talk, and with that in mind, be ready to catch those little parts during my walk where you can hear, and I'll make sure I try to put the words up there and fix it so you can hear it clearly. But I just wanted to say it before you watch the video so you knew it was coming in advance. So there's lots of ways you can always hear spirit. So if you've seen any of my other videos, this ain't nothing like that. This is different, so enjoy, and make sure you hit the subscribe button if you haven't done it. Hit the like button, give me a comment, say something, or not. I'm kind of used to it by now, as long as I've been doing this so it's just, it is what it is. I mean, it's the decision you choose to make. So keep that in mind at the end of the video. Maybe you will, but either way, peace out and enjoy the video. Okay, there's definitely a cold wind blowing, but I wanted to take you out a little bit on a walk with me. Ain't it beautiful to hear nature? Alright, well, as much as I want to do this and enjoy this all with all of you guys, I don't usually get this feeling, but I'm having this sensation of an overwhelming sense of like anxiety, like there's something out here that makes it to the point I probably shouldn't be here at this particular spot. So with that in mind, I'm going to get moving, but yeah, it's it's nice out here. All right, give me a second. I'm going to go ahead and try to speak to y'all for a moment. In a way, I feel such a sense of still this type of anxiety that I'm feeling right now, which is weird. Today's been going pretty good, and I was doing great up until the point I stopped to literally get out to do the walk, to do this video, and I started heading out, but it wasn't until I was out that I started to get the sensation like I shouldn't be where I'm at, that something was off. So for whatever reason, something wasn't quite right for the area of what I was at. I still feel that kind of sensation now, but that could just be nerves of things with everything for what it is. Today's been a pretty decent day. Yesterday was different. Yesterday I woke up with anxiety about for today, and yesterday I woke up from a headache and got sick numerous times, and the headache continued all throughout the day. Today I woke up feeling a lot different than what I felt yesterday. And at one point during the morning when I was having my coffee, I said, if you keep today nice, sunny, but still chilly, but not like cold and not a lot of wind, I would take this opportunity and I'll go out and I'll try to do a video outside somewhere. I'll try to get out in the woods where it usually makes me happy, because I have spent so much of my life in the outdoors, in the wild, in nature, where there was less of the chaos of everything that is from the cities and the civilizations and our cultures and what happens when you're around other people, just to get away from all of that, because people don't realize exactly truly what time we've been living in. And the thing is that now everything is getting ready to come to pass. Everything is going to start just kind of getting piled on, and things are going to start happening. This is no surprise. Everyone's gone through all the theories and looked at all the stuff. Everyone's looking at life, looking around and seeing everything for the first time for what it is. And now people are starting to go, oh my goodness. But the thing is for the most part, it seems like we're just too far gone. The world and everything just keeps making the same problems over and over and over again, that it becomes just overwhelmingly like, seriously, how many times does this world have to go through this for everyone to wake up and say, we got to do this right? It's over. Which way are we going to go? That's where we're at. It's like you're running and you're trying to get done whatever it is each and every individual different person is trying to get done. We're all doing this, and we're just going so fast that we're not seeing nothing that's actually going on around us. We're only focusing us on ourselves. People just can't stop and really get the big picture. And then when people do start to get the big picture, they don't realize how they also help the desire to bring what is in fact already there to come to pass. But the thing is that we're already there. This is where we're at. This is a point. These things are going to happen. There's no stopping it. There's no going backwards. But what are the two directions are we going? And it's like, here we are, and you don't realize how we all contribute to all of this. And everybody everywhere throughout years and centuries, millennia, and just world after world that this has happened. But when is enough enough? When are we too far gone? I think we're there. Look around everywhere. So many things could have been solved and taken care of, but nobody did it under this false sense of greed and self-righteousness, forgetting how we're all supposed to be connected. Not just us, but everything. I ain't trying to push no religious beliefs. Religion is man-made. and meant to divide us all. You need to be of faith on every level. And to know the God that I know, that I am, the great God that created everything, how He is part of it all. And everything is actually connected. But you can't see it because you're too focused on the things that are not really that important. Anyone who talks to ghosts and spirits and stuff of that, they will usually tell you, and that are doing it for the more appropriate reasons, will tell you that they realize that afterwards, the spirits and ghosts that talk to them realize that what they once thought was important wasn't as important once they were over there. But they've had the chance to really get to know God and the afterlife because they're there. And some of these people do a pretty good job, and it really helps bring closure to a lot of people. Everyone reaches those points at different levels, but the thing is that we here don't even realize who we are. If we did, we would have stopped and changed quite some time ago. We haven't yet done anything to actually alter it. We could solve world hunger if we actually wanted to. Nope. We're too concerned about self, money, gain, all these different things that are just, to all these other people, including you, more important. It doesn't matter what anyone has going on in their life. Everybody is important on every level. And it shouldn't be about what you can get out of it. But that's what the world is. Because the world is just too focused upon the almighty dollar and how that benefits them. Not how it benefits others. None of it is. Okay, do you see a problem with that? I mean, it's sad, but when you consider, like, rich people and their children, I have heard, and if you guys have watched any kind of stuff, I'm sure you might have even seen some of the different episodes where this occurs, where the rich parents are like, you don't own anything. I do. And there's a lot of people that get a lot of different views about that, but that's the thing. They only care about themselves. I'm sorry. If I have anything, it is also my child's. She knows mommy's car is her car. She knows that might be mommy's, but it's mine too. Because there's a sense of, I don't consider myself more important than her. Her needs are important too. And if I have it, it is hers. There's no ownership. It's just stuff either way you look at it. I mean, I easily could have went a totally different direction. Instead, I took the hurt and the wrongdoing of everything that ended up happening to me. And I dealt with it, and I continue to push on. And everything I attempted to do to make my situation better, the provisions to try to stop some things from occurring, or to at least ease the blow of certain stuff, they all fell through because it was unavoidable that it was going to happen. But it's not that bad. I mean, it is, but it's not. I mean, a lot of the things that happen because of the law should have been applied. So you telling me that the law doesn't matter? I think that only happens with man. Because when it comes to God's law always wins and always rules. So even though we might be forced to obey man's law, and it's all different somewhere else, it's not even the same. Not even the same basic moral concepts. If it was, it should be easy to understand, but it's not, because too many other people in one form or another are too worried about self. Well, what about God in all this? You're so worried about yourself in every way that you don't think that all the things that could have been solved, again, going back to the world hunger, you don't think God feels that pain when God knows that when those crops are turned away, that's still perfectly good food. It's just not cosmetically good because it's not appealing to the eye. There's still nothing wrong with that food. It's perfectly edible. Just because it ain't pretty don't mean it ain't good. I know a lot of things that are pretty that are bad. I'm sure all of you can think of something. But the thing is that we all took something that was great and kind of ruined it. I mean, this life here, we should have given more credit to God and ourselves and each other for everything. And we should. When you look around and see all the bad all the time, you should give yourself and everyone else credit for it. If you can look around and see the good in it and for it, you should give them the credit for it. I can't tell you how many people I've ran into. They're like, how is it you can see, or you say all this stuff is good about me, or, how is it you hear all this good stuff when all I ever hear is all this bad and negative? And I said, because that's all you can hear, because that's what you choose to hear. It's all there, but you're only focusing on that you're not hearing the other stuff. And I'm trying to make sure you're hearing the good about you. But you didn't want to hear the good about you. You wanted to focus so much on the bad about you, you choose to be that version instead of being the good version of you that I was trying to see, that I knew was there. But it's a decision that individual makes, that you make, and that I make. I easily, so many times over, could have made decisions that were different, more negative, that could have just continued to drag certain things on and out, and for what? Something that's not that important? Because I'm trying to keep my eyes fixed on God, that I'm having to decide between the horrible pain of losing everything and not knowing what to do and where to turn, but yet still trying to go forward with everything I know that's about to proceed, having it all come to me and everything being explained and shown and opened up to me, and I'm seeing everything for what it is, and the book is there, and it's like, oh my goodness. How is it I have read this so many times over and I never could see it this way? Why is it that every time I'm reading it now, I'm reading it different than ever before? Because I cleared away all the nonsense and clutter that wasn't allowing me to see it. I kept focused on the right thing continuously, that the message that was meant to come to me through His Word was willing to lead me down the path that led me, down the path that I went, that I was willing to go, knowing what I knew because of my love for Him, and I continued. Doesn't mean that I wasn't human. I didn't get upset. That doesn't mean that I didn't have hard times. That doesn't mean that I didn't have downfalls. That doesn't mean that I didn't struggle. With everything I had going on and seeing everything for what it truly was and experiencing it firsthand. And finding out the truth about all of it, including the ways other people view everything else. Seeing it all, or having understanding of things, but refusing to acknowledge or even entertain what wasn't useful information or knowledge. And some things I've ignored or overlooked, probably accidental, because of, again, my own decisions. because I had to make decisions to figure out things. But I am me. And as hard as it's been, I continue to try to be the best me and not do other things that would be considered bad, evil, sinful, and all this other stuff. But then to find out that some things, I had to go through a process. There were things that we've been taught that are bad, that aren't really bad. It's in the way you perceive them. That's a big problem. It's that easy to get it, though, if people try. There are things we perceive that we perceive wrongly, but they're ways we chose to perceive because of things we were taught. So really, if you chose to try to look at something differently, and you continue to focus on that and continue to look for that, you would end up seeing it differently. Now, again, if you influence it, you can choose to perceive it in the way that you want and therefore also create it. And so many people that know this don't tell you that. It's that simple. But there's a problem with that. Because then you could take everything that's ever been, if you learn to be a magnet and you draw to you what you are and you learn how all of this is, then you can take the laws of things you learn and use it against everything else. But you have to believe. But you can't even believe that you've lived your life deceived, thinking that it had to be this way, this way, this way, this way, when clearly it's not working in many ways. Like people in an unhappy relationship, not leaving. You make the choice to stay. You made the decision. You could have left and faced it for whatever it was. But you make the decision to stay unhappy. You make the decision to lie. You make the decision to think negative things about other people, not realizing how they kind of feel that, and then it starts to build this energy between you because you allowed your thoughts to go there and perceive it that way. See? You just didn't know because nobody told you it was that simple. It's not that simple to stop, is it? It's a decision you make. As hard as it is. So with that in mind, I'm making a decision to end this video. The wind's picking up, my feet are cold, and I still gotta walk back to the vehicle. So I hope you enjoyed this little walk and talk. Now give me a second and I'll pick this up and we'll get going. Okay, real quick I want to add, it's kind of a shame, but I guess it is what it is when it comes to the fact that we're at this point where it's done, it's over, and all we can do is just wait it out, I suppose. But for how much longer? What's gonna go exactly when? What's gonna happen? What's it gonna exactly be? And who knows? And I do. But what do I say? How do I bring it up? How do I... Seems like nobody wants to hear it. Not really. But I'll continue to listen to God and continue to realize that there's fun in these things that are happening. But when you know what you know, there is power in knowledge. And that can be a dangerous thing sometimes. But I guess the world is what it is, and it's just going to continue to fail everybody instead of actually do something, and we're all just going to keep going along with it like we're all a bunch of sheep just being led to the slaughter, not even enjoying life, just being pushed around and going down the path when we could have chose to make a decision to take a different route, but we all decided to take the path that we ended up taking. But in the days to come, just remember, there's going to be a lot of thunder going on. Things are going to pick up like that. And some people, they see the beauty in it all for what it is. Remember, with God, there's life forever. Just because physical stops, with Him, we keep going. Don't always think what you know is right. I had to learn some things I knew was wrong, but other things were right. I had to see some things were intentionally hidden to find the information I got. So with that, peace out, and yeah, that's a wrap. And I'm going to add this too. If it wasn't obvious, I did leave a small window for opportunity. But there's still a greater say that we can't avoid. Sometimes exactly what's supposed to happen is going to happen. And we got to accept that and don't fight it, because if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. Sometimes we can't prevent things that were just purposeful. All right. Bye. I just want to say something to something I've been pondering about for a while, and it came up again. So here I go. You know, for a while it used to feel like, and it still does to a point, you know, forgive them, they know not what they do, and the argument is forgive them not, they do know what they do. It all comes to help it come to pass. And the only one that knows that judgment is God. When you know something is wrong, then you better believe God knows you knew. If you did something you thought was wrong, better believe He knows your thought. You cannot even keep your thoughts from God. And your thoughts have power. And people often forget that their thoughts do hold such strength. But that's why things that we get emotionally involved with become stronger. Get it? Do you see that little... So, there you go. Just a little bit of thought of things I've been going through. And the other day when it was written down as in... And I kind of forget the complete content, so I'm just going to try to tell you what I can at the moment while I'm curving over dangerous weather road right here. Alright, that's better. Like when Jesus was on the cross, and He said, Father, forgive them. They know not what they do. Can you imagine the words of the statement? Love. Judge them. They know what they do. A lot of love could turn easy into heavy guilt. Keep that in mind. When you're constantly told the day of great judgment is coming, then the things that you do on an average base, you should take more heed to from your everyday thoughts, emotions, and actions. Like I like to say it, having a cup of tea, your thought is very powerful. Spell out tea. There you go. So your emotions with your thoughts and your actions do carry more weight than what you know. And if you're getting ready to be judged, better think about which way you tipped your scale. Because he also said, "You will know not the hour of which I come." And those who know of his approaching will be there fast, ready, and waiting for that moment. They will be steadfast. They will not be off guard. They would know it was coming. And you'd be surprised how many other people were aware of things that were coming. And it just happens. I mean, I've been continuously shown. Sometimes things that are just meant to happen are going to happen. And, you can't just, don't fight against it. Go with it and take it for what it is. When your life review time is up, no matter if we all go together or we all go separately, when your life view, are you going to be able to be okay about everything that you've done? How do you feel about the things you've done? The things you've thought? The life you lived? Are you ready? Can anybody say exactly when somebody else will die? There are people who can be close and know, as even I have. But the only one that knows more than us is on the other side, is God, is Spirit. And you have to be able to hear it and know that time is approaching. And everyone who knew that Jesus was coming back, you knew the approach of God was coming. Peace out. Okay, I just got to where I was going to take myself out to dinner tonight. And I said before I left, hopefully I end up, because I didn't know where I was going, I was just going. And I said, before I left, I said, I still got to do a little bit of shopping, but I want to get some cheap things. So maybe I could find like a Big Lot store somewhere. But I want to go out to eat, so I'll focus on that first. And if it's meant to be, there'll be a Big Lots. And so I Googled for a buffet that I wanted to go to, because I used to go to Chinese buffets all the time with Kelly before he passed. So buffets are kind of a special thing. So I decided, since today was the 1-year marker of his death passing over, I decided to look up a Chinese buffet. Found one, called, and seen what their hours were and what their difference was. And so I took the long drive to get here. And I took the drive to get here. I get here, and then my mind is blown. There is a Big Lots literally right next door. Like, you couldn't. And I pulled in. I didn't even see the buffet yet. I knew it was somewhere in this plaza. I mean, this is how awesome everything works. And it's like, oh my gosh. And I love moments like this. It helps make a day like today just flow so much more easy. And anyhow, so I get here, and I'm trying to find the buffet, and then I had to go backwards because it's kind of tucked back behind the side of Big Lots. Literally right next door to Big Lots is the Asian buffet. And it was like, really? And the second I noticed Big Lots, that was in this plaza, but I didn't notice that the Asian buffet was right next door because it's tucked back. I'll take a picture and show you guys. But so as soon as I seen the Big Lots, I was like, no way, seriously? Thank you. I said, that right there, that's the only way that happens like that. For the convenience of me wanting to get the sunset by the water and do another video, or just go to the water and just enjoy the sunset and not do a video, I don't know which yet. But so I come, it's just, that is how great God is. I can't believe that. The Big Lots were literally right next door. Awesome. Okay, I'll take a little video of that for you, and then I may or may not include you in anything later because I wasn't going to do any more videos, but I had to share this because the second I came in, it was like, oh my God, thank you, because I know the only way that this happens is when everything is like, boom, you got to be, when you're like that, ha! And yeah, you got to give thanks to how things unfold the way they do. Sometimes we literally can't do anything about it, and you got to know the existence of God is real. It's wrong to think it's not. I don't care who you are. The true God is real. There's no other way stuff like this occurs. So with that in mind, I'm going to get going, but I'll make sure I get a clip as I go in. So there it is. I was driving in, and this was like tucked in, and you really couldn't see it. But I was coming in, and I actually drove past it at first. Look at that. That's just awesome the way all that happens. Well, there you go. Peace out. Well, I don't know if you could tell, but the sun is setting behind me, so I'm going to take this opportunity to sit, enjoy a sunset at the water out here, and do some talking to God. So while I do that, I hope you enjoy the view. pause and interrupt just to try to show you something, or maybe I can do it while I'm doing this. You see through the waves as I can? The rocks are just through. Did you see it there? The angle of the lighting is like just perfect that you can see through the waves and see the rock just through. See that? Just that right angle. That is gorgeous. And I don't got a low stand. If I had a low stand, that would be beautiful. I hope it came through. I tried to show you because it is gorgeous. Well, the way it looks, my battery is draining. So at this beautiful evening, I'm going to end this video with this. And anytime you want to think about what it's like to have a moment to sit and talk with God, it's just like the moment you took to watch this video. And that's how you develop a relationship and you talk to Him, for those of you who often forget. It's just that moment that makes everything special and unique for what it is. Despite everything else, it's the fact that you made the decision to take that time to just have thoughts with God about everything, to reflect, and even to create. And in a way, when we talk, it often can become a prayer. Our thoughts can be our friends, or our thoughts can be our enemies. But at the same time, remember to stop and just take a moment, regardless for what the moment is. Make the decision just to take a moment. Thought, emotion, action. Have a cup of tea. Peace out, y'all.